Yeah, I suck. This is who I am. You know?
How did you end up skateboarding with Tony Hawk?
I
Are you
think.
good at skateboarding?
No. I didn't get sober to live in fear. I got sober to fearlessly live. And I'm doing all these things I always had barstool dreams about. I say next anniversary, you guys jump out of a plane. I authentically, truly want to give you a show that you will not see again. This is what stand-up is.
Oh, so
This is how stand-up needs to be. It's like, no, it doesn't. You're wrong. This is so cool.
You think so?
Yeah, man, look at this. It's
You think
beautiful.
this is
And
cool?
I do. And this microphone, I feel like
yeah.
I'm like Dick Clark, you
Yes,
know?
you're Dick Clark,
like I
you're
feel like
Bob
this is
Barker.
an old school long microphone. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey everybody, coming to the stage now.
Yeah.
A real young man, a real fun man, Jason Nash and the House on the Hills. You know, it feels
We're here
great.
with Ian Fidance today.
Yes.
Amazing. Up and coming and arrived comedian.
Thank you.
mean, I've watched you for the last couple years. I'll be honest, I didn't know about you until the Come Town guys.
Okay.
So that's
yeah.
how I found out about you.
Yeah.
And then we watch Kill Tony every week, so we saw you on there. We were
Yeah.
psyched to see you on there. And then we got your special. Your special's hilarious.
Thank you.
Completely unique to you.
Thanks.
I was shocked at how open you are
Yeah.
about everything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
And I
thanks.
guess that's what it takes, huh?
I
To be a
guess.
good comedian.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in my eyes, and the comedy I like is very, you know, I just want to be. I think a lot of great comedy comes from honesty and truth.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of truths that a lot of people run from, and I feel I want to shine a light on it and let other people know it's okay to look at these truths no matter how ugly.
Yeah.
And so I think my goal as a comic is to be as open and honest and truthful on stage. So in order to do that, I have to be open and honest and truthful in my personal life.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point I was on stage and I was like, I'm like lying to these people. I'm not being who I fully am.
Yeah.
And I wasn't okay with who I fully was. So I had to get okay with that.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. And for better or worse, I like to bleed it out on the stage.
Was
You
there
know?
was there like a moment that you remember when you were like, okay, I'm gonna go up on stage, I'm gonna talk about being bisexual, or I'm gonna go up on stage?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that moment? Where were you?
Totally. I remember it was at an open mic at Niagara Bar at 7th and A, which
Okay.
used to be the old A2 club.
Ground Zero.
Which is, yeah. Well, this was ground zero for punk rock in New York City.
Yes.
This is where it started. There's a
Yeah.
plaque on the wall with like
Yes.
Bad Brains, Agnostic Front, Warzone, you know, all these bands. And it's so fitting that that was like the birthplace of punk rock in New York City, which is so important to me. And I came up in that, you know, subculture. And then now, I didn't put it together until just now, but that was like the birthplace of me being like, yeah, I suck dick. This is who I am. You know? So very different kind of groundbreaking moments for, you know, me and that world I'm involved in. But yeah, that's interesting. I remember doing it and I just flat out said it and it everybody was like shocked. And I actually had to have sharp elbows about it because, you know, a lot of people would talk slick to me and say a couple things and I had to, you know, right away, like put my foot down and hold my ground and be like, yo, it's not cool for you to talk to me like that.
Wow.
You know, because a lot of times, you know, and I totally get it. It's jarring. It's, you know, to know me for so long and then to hear like, this guy's sucking cock? What the fuck is this? You know? But, and I get it, but there's a way to go about it. And if I'm walking in a green room and a bunch of dudes are calling me a fag, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And that was happening. But I have to give people grace because this was a while ago. This is almost like 10 years ago. And it's a thing of like, people didn't know how to approach it or talk about it. And it's like I get it from their perspective. It's a weird thing to know someone for a while and then to be like, well, here's the thing about me that you never, you know, because I'm not very presenting about that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, You can like it or you don't. And I've struggled with it being like, am I too much? Am I, and I had to be for a while. I had to I think I had to let it all out and be so over the top with it and then learn how to reel it in. But I was discovering that publicly at the same time as I was discovering it privately. I was telling people my own private life the same time I was doing it on stage, and I don't know, for better or worse, it's just been what it is. And yeah.
And you've had lots of people DM you about it, right? Guys in the same boat.
Yeah.
You've helped me through this.
Yeah.
And also you have such a funny bit in your stand-up about it where you're like, they're like, I sucked a dick, don't tell anyone,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. It's like crazy. It's like shoving me against a locker, lifting me up and be like, I swear to God, I'll kill you. I've been with men. And I'm like, all right, man. I think you're the one that cares more than I do, But it's weird. I absorb all this stuff from people. I take their closeted sins and everything.
You
and
like answering that? Do you like answering DMs? Do you like reading them? Maybe not answering them. Do you read them? Because I don't read them.
I don't read them as much as I used to, but I do sometimes. A lot come in and I don't get to all of them and I don't respond because sometimes when you do respond, it opens up a portal to then this idea that you can just contact me anytime. Yeah. And then, I don't know if you guys see this too, but people will DM you and if you don't accept it, they'll keep sending you DMs that's like, oh, you're talking to yourself for the past 7 months. Every couple days,
well, we all have those parasocial relationships.
Totally.
With you, I have a parasocial relationship.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when you walked in, I was like, oh, fuck. I know him. No, wait. No, no, I don't know him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've watched you so much.
For sure.
And I love you so much.
Yeah.
And it weirds me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really weirds me out.
Yeah, it's strange, but at the same time, it's like when me and my friends started comedy, none of us thought that it was going to get to where it is now with the idea of you basically have to be documenting your life and talking all the time. We were I remember when I started, I was like, okay, so there's 3 podcasts. There's Mark Maron, there's, Comedy Bang Bang, Rogan,
Comedy
and
Bang
NPR. Those are the things.
Yeah.
And this will never expand to anything. And then now it's you got to do a podcast on the way to a podcast. And then on the way home, your podcast, it's crazy. But at the same time, you just kind of go with it and go where it goes. And I recognize there's in a way, I like that in a sense because back to the DM thing, when I was coming up, there weren't any comics talking about this stuff. And if there were, I have to be honest, Jim Norton is very important to me because of how open he was with his relationship with trans women. But at the same time, I had to stop listening and taking in his comedy because it then made me realize these things about myself that I was hiding from. So I stopped listening to O&A. I stopped, watching Jim Norton because I was like, this is going to make me have to reconcile this within myself. So I'm just going to ignore it for a long time. Yeah. And then
wow. I used to listen to O&A.
Oh yeah, me too.
I know what you
Dude,
mean.
We would drive around school and be late to class because we're listening to O&A.
It was so good when they were all there.
Oh yeah.
Bill Burr was there and Patrice, Jim Norton, and who else? Louis was on a lot.
Yeah. Geraldo, Voss, Bobby Kelly, Yeah. Keith would go in. I mean, I grew up on O&A and Tough Crowd, and that is the school of comedy that I came from, and Attell's Insomniac. And that's the comedy kind of foundation I had. And so even now just I've become friends with all those guys. I spent Thanksgiving at Bobby's with Norton, and I'm like, this is insane. What the fuck is happening?
That's nice.
Yesterday I went skateboarding with Tony Hawk. I'm like,
what was
what
that
the
like?
fuck?
Yeah, you
this
mentioned
is
that upstairs. Wait, how did you end up skateboarding with Tony Hawk?
I think.
Are you good at skateboarding?
No. I think someone behind my back signed me onto a Make-A-Wish, and just ever since then, it's just been let's help the boy out, let's have all his dreams come true, I'm dear friends with Jason Ellis, who's a very funny comic and a skateboarder, MMA guy, and he taught me to skateboard back in May. Like I had barely
late to it.
skateboarded before. Yeah. So I'm like, as a
old are you?
sober dude, I'm 39, bro.
Yeah, to start skateboarding at 39 is like your body is different. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm a sober dude. I've been sober for, over 9 years. And I'm at the point in my sobriety where I'm not going to drink again ever. For today. Hey, just for today, man. Just for today. You know what I mean?
That's what you have to say, right?
If I do today what I did yesterday, odds are I'm going to be sober today.
As a comic, do you have trouble taking in the AA tenets?
In what way?
Are you in AA?
Yeah.
Yeah. So So you're making fun of it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
I'm making fun of it in a way of
use it.
couching my joke about it in a very sincere way of like, I truly believe that.
Yeah,
like
good.
I'm joking, but like,
yeah, you believe it.
Truly, I
got you where you
have
are.
to stay in today.
Yeah,
you
good,
know?
good.
And so that's become the tenets of AA saved my life. I mean, I am involved and I do have sober support network, but I don't get to as many recovery meetings as I used to, and I'm grateful for that. But I do have, like sober group chats and guys I talk to, and and that keeps me on the level because I have to be, because it's not like I'm a guy that's like I got to go to a meeting or else I'm going to drink. It's like I got to have this stuff in my life or else I'm not going to be able to live, And a big part of getting sober for me was living because, alcohol and drugs and everything like. It kept me away from being the person I was meant to be. It kept me away from living and enjoying this life that I was given. And so sobriety for me is freedom. Sobriety for me isn't hiding out and being like, I can't go around it. It's just too much for me. It's like, no, I can, because my primary purpose of being in this environment is not to be around the booze. It's to work. It's to do this thing. And I didn't get sober to live in fear. I got sober to fearlessly live. And I'm doing all these things I always had barstool dreams about of like, dude, I want to jump out of a plane. I want to, learn how to skateboard. I want to, and it would just never happen. And so now I have these opportunities. I'm just saying yes to everything. I'm like, dude, like if you today, when we were talking, we're like, oh yeah, I got to go hang gliding, tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'd be like, can I go? Anything that sounds fun to me, even if I don't know the person well, I'm just like, let me jump on it and try to wring out as much fun.
You did jump out of an airplane, right?
Yeah.
In Allentown.
Yeah, in Allentown,
Why in Allentown?
That's the only place we could find.
What's Allentown like? I love the song.
It's
is it still is it like that song?
I guess you could say like
hell
on earth. I guess it's I mean, any town they write songs about aren't good, Jason. It's never like an ode to a wonderful place, He literally says they're shutting the factories down in Allentown. And let me tell you, they never opened them again, okay? It's not good,
So it's kind of desolate.
Yeah. But
How was jumping out an airplane?
Well, where I was at that point in my life, on the way there, I had like a really bad hangover and I had a headache. And we stopped off at a gas station. I was like, I gotta get some fucking medicine. So I go to the guy. I go, hey, do you have any like Advil? I have a headache. And he pulls out a plastic bag with pills. He goes, I got a couple of these. I go, I'll take them. And I don't know what it was, but I was feeling good, And when we jumped out of the plane, it's so funny. My buddy jumped out. And he left his wallet in his pocket. His wallet flew out of the air at 15,000 feet. A week later, he's laying on his couch, face down, like, I got no money, I got no wallet. And a guy called his house and was like, hey, I was walking my dog in the woods and I found this wallet.
Wow.
Like, holy shit. Yeah.
Wow. Good people up in Allentown.
Yeah. Hey, just because the town sucks don't mean the people ain't great, There's good people everywhere, even when they're shutting the factories down,
I've always wanted to jump out of an airplane, but I have kids and...
Bro,
I jumped out of the stratosphere once.
What?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like you can in Vegas, you could go to the stratosphere and you can jump from the top of the building on a wire.
So you did that, but you won't go out with a parachute. and someone who's a professional
For some
attached to your
reason,
body.
I felt like the stratosphere. I was watching people do it, and I was like, I needed a video, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. But I've had many opportunities to skydive. And,
Do it, man. I'm a fan of anything you're like a little scared of. You should do.
what do you think, babe? She says no. I said
No?
Yeah.
I say you guys do it. I say next anniversary, you guys jump out of a fucking plane. Can I tell you, I did it again in Austin. Me and Jordan went, and it was really cute because the guy who was attached to me was married to the videographer with the camera on her head, right?
Yeah.
And they worked together. They've been jumping out of planes for years and years and years. And right before they jumped out, they did a secret little handshake and like kiss each other's thumbs. And I was like, what's that? And they were like, hey, we do it all the time, but you never know. So, and I thought that was like so sweet. And they said, I'll see you on the ground. And that was like really, really sweet.
Yeah, really. Sweet.
Yeah, it was like a cool thing. So then me and Jordan tried to imitate. We were like, see you on the ground. She was like, I don't care if I die. And I'm like, okay.
How's the landing? Is it rough?
No, not at all. Dude, the coolest part is, you know, when
imagining the song Creed in your head as you're going
oh,
down.
dude, I mean, that's my daily life. Are you kidding me? With arms wide open.
I'd go higher, but yeah.
Oh,
Can you take
That's
me
right. Well, when I jump out, I think saliva, click, click, boom. You know, click, click, boom, and then I love the descent is amazing because right before you rip the parachute, you were in the most chaotic free fall. Your teeth hurt, the wind's blowing, you're squinting, you're like, oh, it's crazy. And then you rip the chute, and right when you rip it, gravity yanks the instructor and you are attached with a harness, but because they get yanked with the parachute, you're still floating for like a split second. So for a split second, they're going this way, you're going this way, and you're like, oh no, we've detached. And then you feel this pull and you're like, oh God, I'm saved. And then you just float. And it's amazing until you can feel the instructor breathing like on your neck and talking to you. And you're like, let me just have this moment, man. You don't gotta make conversation all the time. You know?
You having fun out there?
Yeah.
You loving this in?
Yeah. Are you enjoying? Are you not entertained? You know, but yeah.
Okay, and you, where did you grow up?
Delaware, Wilmington.
And what kind of kid were you?
Basically, the exact same person you're looking at now without tattoos and
gotcha.
even worse fucked up
Silly.
teeth.
Yeah, you're so
Yeah.
silly on stage.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. It's like really good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks.
And
yeah.
how did you meet the Cumtown guys and the Adam Friedland guys? Those guys are just.
They're the best.
I really thought that, when I started listening to them, it must have been, I was pretty late to it, but
Yeah.
I remember listening to it being like, oh my God, I can't fucking believe these guys are saying what they're saying.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And Nick Mullen is just a genius.
Yeah.
He's just a genius.
He was created with a joke calculator in his head. It's
Yeah.
on the fastest high speed like internet. It's just so quick and it's incredible. He is an absolute genius
And you
when
met
it comes
those guys
to
through
comedy.
stand-up?
Yeah, so I met Stav first. When
Stav,
Stav moved to New York, he and I linked up and became buds. And I used to stay at his house in Queens for we used to have like sleepovers for the weekend. I would like be on my bike. We'd be out and I'd race him on my bike to his house in the Uber in Queens, you know. And his producer, Eldis, lived with him. And so the three of us linked up and we would hang and have fun. And then one night we were out and Stav was like, let's go to the diner. And I had met Nick at a show. We were on the same show. This old club called like Laughing Devil, I think.
Yeah.
And we actually bonded over sobriety. And, we had talked a bit. And then, Stav, he and I went to a diner. Nick met up with us. We all hung out all night. And then I just started going on the podcast.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you have your own podcast. It's Being Ian with Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, she's the best.
And that one's been doing really good for you too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really having fun. Yeah.
Harlan's so funny.
I'm doing his podcast today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's something else, huh?
He's so funny.
He's had a bit of a resurgence, huh? With
Totally.
Kill Tony. And we went to see Kill Tony live, actually, and he was the guest.
Oh, when?
Him
Where?
and Adam Devine.
Oh, cool.
I think it was during the Netflix Fest. We just went down there.
Oh, at the Forum.
Yeah, and this one, it was the next
that was the night
at the
when he
YouTube theater.
Oh, okay.
But-
I was
but
like,
it was
is that
still
the
great.
night that he tore up David Lucas?
Yeah.
Because that was wild.
Yes,
No, we watched that online.
Oh, we watched that online. We watch
okay.
every Kill Tony, so we get a little confused.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but no, we weren't live for that one.
Oh,
Maybe it was
okay,
the
yeah.
night before.
Well, Harlan's so great because, again, like silly. Like he's just
So
so
silly.
silly. And I love silly because I feel like a lot of stuff got lost in the sauce within the past 10 years of like your comedy has to teach and like it's my job to make you learn and I have a role of speaking for blah 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 and it's like, dude, people are tired. They want a respite from the hellacious fucking world we've been hurled into.
Yeah.
It's not my job to fucking bum people out and scold them for like some whatever. It's like, no, you're paying money to be entertained. I'm going to be the fucking clown that you paid money for. Like I'm a traveling clown, you know.
Especially with like what you do, like as I've watched you and some of your other friends like Stavros and Nick, and I've watched their specials and I'm like, you watch it and you're like, you can tell by the stuff you're saying that people are like, oh, like it's such a release. You can hear the laugh like fuck, yes, this is what we're feeling, or this is what like I felt like is, you get brainwashed
Totally.
from what you see online. You're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this, or I'm not supposed to say that, and that's really what it is when I especially when I watch Kill Tony too. I feel the same way. It's like, what's it like to do that show?
It's great, man. Well, to your point about like people feeling like relief, like it's cool because people come up and be like, dude, I feel like we were like watching a funny version of the conversation me and my friends had in the car that no one can ever hear,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, cool, and I love how a lot of people come out and they're like, I can't tell what side you're on. Who do you like? And I'm like, you'll never know,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I love being silly and I love having fun, but also like, there is I'd like to think, especially with the special, I really tried to have like an overarching like message of, like hope, acceptance, and love, and like truly finding like happiness, whatever it is to you. And I made this special with an arc of like a beginning, middle, and end, but above all else funny. And I wanted it to be like silly, but also make you go like, oh shit. Yeah, he put a little bit of a pill in the cheese right there,
Yeah.
So
it's 51 minutes.
Yeah, with the intro and outro. Yeah,
Intro and outro.
Yeah.
And how much of that did you cut out? How long were you on stage for?
Man, I filmed 2 shows. We got it in the first. The first was like an hour. The second show was like an hour 15 because the second show sucked. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. The crowd. It's like this weird thing. Sometimes people want to be so supportive that it's counterproductive. So like I would do a joke and they'd be like, yeah. And I'm
we
like,
watched a special like that last night.
did you?
I'm not going to say who it was.
Mm-hmm.
She's funny. And we watched the special last night.
It sounds like it. She's funny.
No, she is.
She's funny.
No, she is. She's funny. She's funny. I like her a lot. But the crowd was too into the setups.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
The crowd was like, ah!
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it threw you off. And then I went and watched your special this morning, and I was like, okay, this is normal. I'll wait for
Can
the
we
joke.
cut that and put that on wax? The first time someone's ever associated me with normal. That was amazing. This is normal. Yes. LA, man, what a gift. It keeps on giving,
Well, yeah. Your special's
Yeah.
normal. I'll tell you, when you get up there, you're like, when I got up there, started watching your special, I was like, oh man, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, thanks. I like that, man. I like people being like, because I came up in like punk rock and hardcore, and the shows I would go to, you never knew what the fuck was going to happen.
Yeah.
You never knew if someone was going to leave on a stretcher, if the police were going to show up, if you were going to see a fight, if everything was going to be fine. Like you didn't know if the singer was going to like headbutt a kid in the crowd, like getting so into it. Like, I love that. And I want my shows to be like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah.
And so I always make every set different, especially since I taped the special. I've been out on the road heavy since, and I've worked to like not repeat jokes and to make every set I do on each headline set different. So it's cool because people come out, they'll come to like a Friday early, and then, if there's like tickets left, they'll snag them to like the late Saturday, and they'll bring a whole group of friends, and I'll give them like a whole different set.
Oh, great.
Because I have this like
You
thing
have
in
that
my
much
brain.
material?
A lot of I do a lot of improv, and so like a lot of I have material, but a lot of it I don't know where I'm gonna go with it, and I just kind of like to see where it goes and find the funny in that. And it's like skydiving. I know that I have a parachute in my pocket, which is me knowing that I'm funny. It's just a matter of when I pull it and how I get there, and I really enjoy it.
There's a special from a long time ago. It's Robin Williams. He's in LA. I think he's at the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Danza's in the audience for some reason. There's like a lot of celebrities in the audience because it's like peak Robin Williams, like Morgan Mindy. He's famous.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's on YouTube or what, but I saw it on Comedy Central a long time ago. And it's him for an hour with no material. Yeah. Just like riffing. Yeah. So, and there's points where it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. And then there's also points where he's bombing. Yeah. It's like really interesting. Yeah. Do you think you would ever do something like that?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. I love it. I mean, I love Robin Williams. It's the best compliment I ever got. Someone told me that I reminded them of Robin Williams if he was angry and on Four Loko. I was like, all right, I'll take it. Let's go.
But why wouldn't they cut that out?
Because there's it's like a realness and a rawness to it of like, this is like my goal with the special is to make it feel as if you were there and to translate how I am live on the screen and to make people feel as if they're getting the live experience from the screen. I think if you include that, that's an incredibly real, honest look at what a show is. It's not always the hits, and to have the vulnerability to show those, like Andrew Dice Clay's The Day the Laughter Died is like one of the greatest pieces of art in the history of time. He sold out Madison Square Garden. The next day he went to Rodney Dangerfield's and bombed for 2 hours and intentionally tried to walk every single person in the crowd.
Oh, is that why people talk about that? I've never seen it.
Yeah, because he was at the height of who he was. Right. Literally the first comic to ever sell out Madison Square Garden. Right. The very next day goes and completely nosedives into the ground. And it's like high art, And I just love... because the whole trick of stand-up is making you think we're coming up with it on the spot, and this is the first time we've ever said it, and that's a lie. Yeah. And I hate being a liar, and I hate feeling inauthentic. So I authentically, truly want to give you a show that you will not see again. I want to give you an experience that you're not going to get if you see me again tomorrow. So I do not do the same set. I do everything different. I'll go off on one thing. I may repeat something, but it'll be somewhere else, or I'll get to it later. But no set is the same because I feel inauthentic if I do that.
So let's say you go out there, and that's really admirable. You go out there and you do something different every time.
Well, I mean, admirable or insane, but I'll take it.
Insane. I mean, I know comics that I have a friend, and he goes to all the Comedy Store or whatever, and he's seen this one comedian 5 times. Yeah. And every time he's done the same set. Yeah. And he's like pissed. Yeah. And he's like, he's ruined comedy for me, man. He's like, and he really likes the comedian. Yeah. And, so let's say you do go out there and you say, hey, I'm Ian. I'm going to free flowing. I'm going to give these people something brand new. Yeah. And it doesn't go as well as...
I'll pull a hit out.
You'll pull a hit out.
I'll pull a hit out.
I see. I mean, you can do that. You can just go in and pull something out.
Yeah, I can figure out where to put it and navigate where it goes. Like I'll pull a hit out. I'll pull fucking ace out my sleeve. And there's some nights where I'm in the city and I'm just beat down, and it's like my 5th spot of the night, and I'm like, guess what? Here are the hits. Let's just hit play on the tape recorder and you go hear what you just heard on the last one, right? But when I'm headlining, I know that people are specifically coming to see me. I know that they've seen me 8 times already, and I want to give them a new show. I want to give them, it's not lost on me that these people are the reason I can live and survive. And so I don't ever want to sell anyone short. And, you know, like, yeah, I will repeat a joke or pull something out, but I do have a ton of material that I pull from. And I'm also doing this thing where I'll pick a topic and I'll rant on it and try to talk about it to the point where it's no longer funny. And then once I feel like I've wrung out all the juice of that, you know, lemon, I'll fucking go off onto another thing.
Got it.
And so, and also, like, I think people do like the idea, because at the end of my set, I tell everyone, like, this is all made up. Like, I appreciate you guys being into it. I know it's not the most polished thing, but I am building my next hour. And this is how I build it, by just doing everything and going back and finding what works best. And I think people they dig that because they know they're getting something the next show is not going to get. And also they're getting something that they may see later, because I am transparent with them. Like, yeah, I'm working this out, but it's not like a ton of dead air of me like, well, that didn't, you know. But I mean, and here's the thing. I'm having fun. I'm having more fun on stage than I've ever had. And it's because I'm not stressing over what is my set list, you know, like,
right.
And I mean, I opened for Bert at the Kia Forum, and that was obviously like, dude, it was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
it was amazing. I like have never felt more, dude. Gene Simmons was there, and afterwards at the after party, he comes up to me. He's like, I really have to say, I love your voice. The way you use your voice and, you know, how you use the stage. It's really incredible and unique. And I'm like, yeah, same to you, Gene Simmons. What the fuck is happening? You're Kiss. You're the lead singer of Kiss. I like your voice, you know? But I use the stage. I'm stomping around. Yeah, his son's a huge comedy fan. Yeah, his son Nick is great. Yeah. Yeah, but the Kia Forum was amazing.
We see him hiking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we've seen him.
In his Kiss boots?
No, he's just
I think I wouldn't practice. I don't know what he'd like.
She's a lot younger than me, so there's references that drop off. And then there's ones that she says that I have no idea.
Oh, of course.
She'll be like, what's that? Those movies we were talking about the other day.
Like Amanda Bynes.
Oh, like Amanda Bynes.
Right.
Like, I missed
Yeah.
that.
Or Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy movies.
You don't know Brittany Murphy movies?
I miss Brittany Murphy movies.
How dare you? Oh my God, she's a queen. It's your job as a Hollywood elite to know
I was
about
changing
Brittany
diapers
Murphy.
when Brittany Murphy had her run.
In Clueless?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Clueless,
Oh,
one of
Clueless,
the best
I know.
films
Clueless, I
ever
know.
made, by the way. Incredible film.
Clueless is?
Incredible. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my
Clueless is
favorite
good.
comedies
What's
of
your
all
favorite?
time.
That's your favorite?
What About Bob? Clueless. There's Something About Mary.
What about Bob Clueless? Something about
Billy Madison.
I'll tell you, when I saw Something About Mary
Dirty
in the
Work.
theater, I was like, that might have been the hardest I ever laughed.
I met Peter Farrelly.
You did?
And I got to tell him, which is so funny because it's such a punishing thing.
Yeah.
Like when people come up to you and they're like, yeah, I saw you and this and that. You're like,
Yeah.
And then I did that to him. But he was so cool and took the time to talk to me about his my buddy Andrew Santino is in Ricky Stenicki.
We saw it.
It was great. I loved it.
It was great.
It was such a good
texted
classic
Andrew.
throwback of just like a funny fucking comedy.
And
that's
Andrew
the thing.
stole the movie.
Oh, dude, he was fucking great.
He
man.
stole the movie.
And it's funny. I love that, man, because I really think people are hungry for hard, funny comedy. They're tired of tap dancing and walking on eggshells.
Do you want to do films?
Oh yeah, I love acting.
You do?
I love acting.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I really enjoy
Would
it.
you ever make something, or just
Totally, yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. I have me and a friend. We're getting the financing together for a movie we wrote, and I'm really excited about it. So check it out. It's going to be out there called Whirlpool.
Whirlpool?
Yeah.
Is it about punk rock?
No, the soundtrack is, but
The soundtrack is.
I thought the movie was great, and it was just a classic, funny comedy.
Yeah, it was good.
And I feel like now is such a good time. People just want to laugh. They want to forget the fucking shit world they're living in, and it's a blessing to be able to bring joy and make people forget how shitty things are for a minute. Because growing up, I needed that, you know, and music did that for me. Comedy did that for me, and the fact that I can do that for other people is really fucking cool, and I really, really enjoy it, you know. And seeing other people do it too is really inspiring, you know, like seeing you know, like I feel like Attell, Gilbert Gottfried, and Norm Macdonald, Harlan, they're the last generation of veneer joke comics of where like I'm not going to bleed out. You're just hear these jokes. You're not going to know my personal life. And I admire that because I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm such a little, you know, ego baby that I'm like, here's everything about me. You know,
Well, that's interesting. I like I like where you're going. Is there anybody like that now? That's a veneer. Is that the word you use? Veneer comic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, and I can't.
That's interesting. Why? Yeah. Why is that? I guess maybe we live in the age of where you need to be podcasting and doing so much, and you have to give all of yourself.
I think so, but I also think Louis kind of was a real.
He tore it open.
Yeah, totally. And I mean Pryor, Carlin, you know, Richard Jenny, like these guys, you know, Richard Lewis, and then Louis was like the watershed of like. I think Louis made it okay for my generation to be like, here's all of me, you know, in a way that like the complete, like I said, veneer. And I think people want the I'm ripping my rib cage open, here's my guts, because that's relatable. And I think people are struggling now more than it. Things have never been better than they are now. But mentally and emotionally, I think things are worse now than they've been in a very long time.
Right.
And I think people gravitate towards anyone that's like, you're not alone. I feel this way. And because I feel this way, I'm not the only one. And odds are some other people feel this way too. Here's how I got through it. Here's how it's a way to be okay with it.
I like shows like that, like that where people like really open up. Like I remember hearing people ragging on Hannah Gadsby, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. I fucking loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, thank you for having me, man. Have a good day, guys. I gotta get out of here.
Thank you for being here, Ian. I have said the wrong thing. We will not be able to find common ground. Now listen. Well, listen. Hang on.
Here's the thing. Guess
no,
what?
No. Hang
Go ahead.
Hang on. Listen.
Yes.
Is it like hard joke?
Yeah.
No. But like, she's a good writer.
Yeah.
She's doing something different. Can she walk into a bar
Right.
of 300 drunk guys and fucking command the audience?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, she can't.
Which is great and fantastic, but it's not stand-up comedy. Her thing was basically a one-person show, which is great.
That was
amazing.
really good.
You killed it as a one-person show.
as a one-person show. That's
but
all I'm
to couch it as stand-up comedy and then have all these,
Well, who couches
you know,
it as stand-up
troglodytes of being like, this is what stand-up is.
Oh, so I think-
this is how stand-up needs to be. It's like, no, it doesn't. You're wrong.
Oh, I see. So that's sort of, because I think where I probably heard it was Come Town. That's probably where I heard people ragging on it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out. But I think maybe what you guys, or what you're reacting to is like when a journalist says, oh, blah, 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 this is what it should be. And that's an affront to what you do.
Yeah.
And so I can see that, but I didn't read anything about it. I just turned on Netflix and was like,
Right.
This is a nice little lady telling about her
Right.
life.
Well, that's a good way to live by
Yeah.
not being influenced by like other
no.
outside
Fuck
sources.
that.
Like I do that with movies. I don't look at like Rotten Tomatoes and I'm like, well, it was given this review. I just want to go see stuff and enjoy it. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I don't want anything to influence it. But I just get mad when, you know, and critics are allowed to. This is all a part of it. But when people start sinking their talons into, you know, creative things and start making it a bigger deal than it is in terms of this bigger picture, or this is what things should be. It's like, get fuck out of here.
You walked out over Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah.
I talked to your publicist. How was the pod? Well, it was great. Oh, did you bring up Trump? No, worse. Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, he spit in my face. He kicked my wife. It was very strange. He stole our watercolors that we have on our balcony upstairs.
So I do think, just to go back to the beginning, you're very brave to go up there and talk about your sexuality.
Oh man,
Like really fucking brave.
I don't know.
Like I don't know if I could do that.
I think it's mentally ill. Let's go with that. You're very unwell.
I mean, I would have a hard time talking about my sex life with you.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Look at that.
What do you?
Somebody's trying to jump out of a plane.
She says stuff like that to keep me alive.
That's a good wife. That's good.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah,
She's
that's
the best.
nice. I like that.
What's it like to date a guy? What's it like to date a girl? What's the difference? Is it
Uh,
the same? Basically the same?
I mean, dude, when you date a guy, at least you know the story he tells is going to have an ending.
Right.
Hurry it up.
You don't do that, babe. You're pretty quick. But I do know what he means.
Yeah, I know that you'll find a logical conclusion to an argument. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
God, we heard a great joke the other day on Kill Tony about that. What was it? Remember some guy came out of the bucket?
I don't remember what it was.
God damn, I'm going to butcher. I can't remember what it was. But it was
Hilarious. You hear that?
Are you dating anyone now?
No. And I'm really enjoying myself.
It's nice to be
I've
alone.
really yeah, I mean, look, it sucks coming off the road to no one really fucking sucks. And I can really get into like a bad way. But that just forces me to all right, dude, you just got to fucking suit up and get out and leave your apartment. And, it's like, whatever. But I got to say, I'm, again, back to the honesty thing. I'm trying to be honest with everything in my life, and I fall short and I fuck up, but I know I can't be a good partner. I know I can't be in a relationship where I can give myself, because I travel all the time. I'm here, I'm there.
Yeah.
I really
It's really tough.
I really believe it or not, with this persona I have of I'm a wild guy. In my personal life, I can be very, and no one, especially Jordan, won't corroborate this, but I do like to be kind of quiet and soft spoken and not talky. And I like to kind of go off on my own. And when I'm in a relationship, you have a duty to spend time with someone because you haven't been around. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. And I also don't want to make a promise to spend time with you and then have my moodiness come in and be like, yeah, I just want to be alone, and then let you down.
You break a lot of hearts that way.
I mean, I just say, I
would think
baby.
you do, Ian. You're very attractive.
Hey, baby, I'm just a tumbleweed blowing through town.
You got a vibe to you. What'd you say?
I'm just a tumbleweed blowing through town, mama, Come on.
That's a hard life, man.
Yeah.
That's really hard, because I have her, and it's like,
Well, whenever I
she's my
see, that's beautiful, and I love that. Hold on to that. That's amazing, because I love that and I want that. I just know that is not a thing for me now, because if I had a rock, that rock would magically tumble down the mountain. That rock would sprout legs and be like, I'm gonna tumbling down the mountain's better than being here for you.
Right.
And I just I recognize that and I understand that now. So I've been throwing myself into my friendships and my, familial relationships, and it's just how it has to be for now, because I'm not going to let anything get in the way of the thing I've been working my dick off for, and I'm enjoying it and I'm seeing progress. And I know if I were to get in a relationship, I could very easily be like, I don't have to go away this weekend. Let's just have a us night, No, and also I love to hang. I'm a bad boyfriend. Because I'll be like, hey, I have a set at 10:30. I'll be home at 11. And then 10:45, I run into Jordan or one of our friends. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Let's chain smoke and hang out. Woo-wee. And then midnight comes and I'm like, what do you know? I've been stuck on a subway. And it's like, I just chose to have more fun without you. And that's not okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I don't, It is what it is. I got to accept it,
Yeah. I felt that way last night. I went out with some buddies last night, and I never go out with the buddies.
Yeah,
and but they're old friends.
I love that.
Old friends.
Old friends are the best, man.
And I finished dinner, and I texted her. I was like, okay, I'm coming home. And then they walked across the street to the bakery, and another 45 minutes went by.
Yeah, yeah,
just sitting there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's cool to do once in a while. I'm sure you're understanding, but when it's every night, and then when you start to go, I'll be home at 10, they go, you're like, this isn't good.
I mean, I'd rather be with her anyway, but
That's very sweet.
Yeah,
Look at you. Well, I mean, I see you and I see her, and you're making the right choice. You better do whatever you can to water this plant over here, pal. Because,
You need the beast, huh?
hey, oh, golly. What are you putting in water? Put a spell on you.
I'm truly confused by it too. Everybody is.
Yeah.
I live stream.
Oh, yeah?
And sometimes people will, she'll just pop in the camera and be like, oh, guy, bring me lunch or whatever. And people will be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that your daughter?
Oh, hilarious. Dude, that would happen with me. Not the daughter thing, but just the astonishment that a guy like me could get someone that's not a complete bridge troll.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Me
You know?
too.
But I think I like that. I always like being underestimated. I always like being like the guy that's like, yeah, now what? Fuck you, you know? And so I like that people will like see the fucking guys and girls I pull and they're like, how the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, you're funny.
Yeah,
Funny-
well, I
funny
had to
trumps
be. Do you
all.
see me? I had to be with this face. Are you kidding me? You know, if I tried to coast by on looks, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on the 405 begging for money. You know, which, by the way, at a red light today, this guy, I always give the guys like cigarettes. I don't give him money, and I give this guy a cigarette, and he's like, "Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother." Moonshine? They wouldn't serve me at the liquor store. You want my moonshine? I'm like, buddy, you just, what the fuck? Cut your losses. I want my cigarette back.
Yeah.
You know?
To offer you moonshine of all people.
I know. Yeah.
Because if you were going to go off the wagon.
Yeah. Oh, I yelled at him. It's like, haven't you seen my special?
Yeah. But what a great bit that would be.
Could you imagine?
So I fell off the wagon with some guy's moonshine from the 405.
I mean, that happened years ago.
It did?
I mean, I didn't fall off the wagon, but I used to hitchhike.
Yeah.
And I hitchhiked from one town to another down in Delaware. And this guy picked me up and he's like, you want some? Just a Gatorade bottle full of something. And I was like, yeah, why not? And we just fucking passed it, taking pulls back and forth. And then he pulled over at a gas station. And I was like, I got it from here. And I just walked and I fell asleep in a shopping center. And I chose to sleep in front of a Brooks Brothers because I remember thinking, well, if I get like killed or something, there's going to be video footage because Brooks Brothers is a nice shop.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning and was like, hey, all right, cool. Made it another day. Where's that guy with the vodka? You know?
What are your parents like?
You know.
Good relationship?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my dad died when I was 8.
Oh.
And it's just me and my mom.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. And
Shit.
a
lot of single mom comedians.
Yeah.
I was a single mom. My dad's alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he left?
His dad is so amazing.
Really?
My dad is so amazing. When I was younger, you know, there was a lot of shit, but he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's good now.
Yeah. That's great.
But there is something to that.
That's great that you can see that and recognize that people change and not hold that grudge against him for how he was
100%.
when you were younger. You know?
100%.
Nothing bothers me more. And look, I don't know people's lives, but when I see people with grudges with their parents and stuff, I'm like, man, that sucks.
I love that.
You know?
100%. Like what they did the best they could. They gave you life.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, look, there's some malicious, poor parents, and there's some people that should not be parents or their children should be taken away. But at the end of the day, and I think that comes with growth and you know, evolving as an adult of like recognizing like, oh man, you were just an idiot with a kid. Like you didn't know anything.
Yes.
You were a kid. I get it now. Yeah. Things are fine.
Yeah.
You know.
I have kids now too, and I stop myself and I think like, oh wait a minute, did I just fuck them up there? You know,
Yeah.
or like was I
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I admire anyone that's a parent. I mean, dude, I got to get my cat's teeth pulled, and I'm like, I just wish he could share how he's feeling. Are you okay, my boy? You know.
What's the cat's name?
Samson.
Samson.
I love him. Yeah. he's the
Okay, so
best.
it's you and your mom growing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, good. And you have a good relationship with your mom? Pretty good?
Today, yeah.
good.
Yeah, you know. Hey, I say it to you to say it to me, brother. You know. Yeah, no, I was a tough fucking kid, man.
Did you act out and you get in trouble?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
In trouble all the time, fights.
What did you do?
know.
What did you do?
I mean, I got bullied a lot, you
Yeah.
know, and especially like, you know, I would get, I would get in fights a lot for a lot of things kids would say. And, not having a dad, there was always like something to prove. And, it was just like I was always acting out for attention. Any attention's good attention, And I was always a good kid. I always had a good heart. I just loved. I was a rambunctious lunatic kid, and my mom had to wrangle me and deal with me. And, I wouldn't be anything without her. I love her. She's the fucking best. We're so lucky we have each other, but it was a wild fucking ride.
Did you ever find like a male figure that kind of helped you through?
I've had different ones in my life. My grandfather helped raise me, and then he died when I was 19, and then, I was a carpenter, and I had a guy that, kind of took me under his wing. And so I've had like different figures in my life. And now like Attell is kind of like that for me. I've been on the road with him since 2018, and he's just become such a wonderful friend. And, like he was in the outro of my special. I was in the outro of his, it was nice. Like when we go to gigs, I'll drive, he'll sit and read me the paper, and like we go to museums together. We do like these crazy like father-son trips, and it's so fun. And we like go to the park or the mall and just chain smoke and people watch, and we're chatty Cathys. We talk on the phone every night. So like he's definitely become like a mentor and just a dear friend in my life, like a solid friend.
So 5 years on the road with David Attell, that's probably.
Is that 5? 6?
Well, you said 2018, so I'll call it 6.
That's 6? Yeah.
Well, you're not on the road with him now.
No, I mean, dude, he kept me alive. Like he kept me alive.
Yeah.
I had just.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
That Dave Attell,
Yeah.
the guy that everybody looks to as God, kept you alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know, and
he's not known for. He's known for how funny he is, not for how nice he is.
Philanthropy efforts, No, but he is. He's a fantastic man, and the Comedy Cellar and David Attell are the reasons why I could live and like stay in New York, because I quit my job probably like too early, and
as a carpenter.
No, I had a million jobs. Like before I went like full time as a comic. I mean, at one point I was on like food stamps. I was on government assistance, just so anything I could do to not, because I drank my way out of like every job I had. But anyway, I could. My thing was like, I'm never moving back to Delaware. I'll either fucking live under a bridge and make it work, or I'll fucking die. There's no fucking way I'm ever asking for help. And so I was on food stamps and government assistance for a while.
How much do you get per month?
Lost my job. It was, I mean, the SNAP benefits, it all depends, but it was like enough to go grocery shopping and have enough food for like the week. And then you figure out not to eat a lot, and then you steal from like Whole Foods, and so like you can work work your way down to eating like once a day and making it work,
right?
And dude, I used to find audience seat fillers where they'd put you on a bus, they'd send you to these talk shows, and they'd give you $50, but they had craft and services. So I used to steal all the sandwiches, get paid $50 to watch like the Steve Wilkos show, and then I'd take home all this fucking food, and then I've had free food for the week.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I had like 3 jobs at the time. I'm like running around, I'm like doing open mics at night, and I definitely made it harder for myself. But once I got past at the Cellar and started working with Attell, that's when like I didn't have to be such a fucking street urchin,
Right.
And but working with him has been incredible, and like the Cellar took care of me for so long, and so like
what do you get paid for a spot at the Cellar?
I mean, it all depends, like weeknight it's like $50, and the weekend it's $100 a spot. MCs, you can make up to $200 a spot depending on what room,
Not bad.
and then you get discounted meals, you eat for free as an MC. So I MC'd at the club when I started up until like this year I was still MCing, and then I transitioned from being a house MC to just regular spots at the
Yeah.
club, which is great. And she's really taken care of me of making that transition and no longer emceeing. But dude, the emceeing kept me alive. I would MC like 3 shows a night and, free meals and everything. And like you could make a lot of money in a weekend emceeing at the club.
And plus everything you probably learned just being on the road with Attell, just watching him every night.
Yeah, and also
right?
being at the Cellar, it's like that's the upper echelon. That's the store of the East.
Yes, yes.
And so you're around it and you learn, and it's I'm like still learning, and I still have goals, and I still have things I'm working on, and there's always things to work on and figure out. Different ways to work with your movements and your presence and the timing and the pausing, and it never ends, which is amazing.
Right.
It's such a gift. You're always growing, you're always learning, and I'm just fortunate enough to have people in my life that are truly like the best to ever do it, that I'm like learning from.
You really are surrounded by incredible
Yeah,
people.
it's crazy,
And
man.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
Ian,
great.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
The special is called Wild, Happy, and Free.
Yes.
Wild, Happy, and Free. It's on YouTube. It'll be linked below in the YouTube. Go check him out. Go listen to his podcast. Me and Ian with Jordan.
Yes.
Catch
And
him.
see me on the road. Yeah.
And go see him on the road. Yeah.
Got a ton of
IanFidance.com.
I'm on the road every weekend until the new year. I'm fucking pumped, man. Yeah.
All right.
IanFidance.com, punchup.live/IanFidance to get on my mailing list, and discount tickets to all my shows, and iAnimal69 on Instagram.
Dude, congratulations. You're killing it.
Oh, man.
Congratulations on just accomplishing all this. It's really, really, really something.
That's really nice of
I'm
you
really
to say.
happy.
Thank you.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I'm happy for you.
Thank
I mean,
you.
an old skeleton like this with a beautiful wife and a house. I mean, you're accomplishing a lot. Look at us, Look at this.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Hey, thanks
Thank
a
you.
ton, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Ian.